Well, a treaty is a treaty. It cannot be effected until it's ratified on the floor of Parliament and has to be debated. And if indeed the content of the treaty enables Papua New Guinea soldiers to be absorbed into the Australian Defence Force, that becomes a serious sovereignty issue. So whilst a treaty can be also regarded, I think at this stage, as a communique is only an understanding. A treaty is binding, but it's only a policy matter. But when it requires change of legislation, then it becomes constitutional. So I reiterate once again my media statement during the week by many media outlets in Papua New Guinea and overseas, trying to draw me into the debate of where Papua New Guinea stands in relation to superpower rivalry and the implication on small Pacific Island state. We should know that Papua New Guinea is a sovereign state. In 1975, our government declared that we are friends to all and enemy to none. But this brings to the core of the issue right now. The issue right now is who is the threat in the Pacific? And I say that Papua New Guinea does not see any other foreseeable threat in the future. So therefore, to be drawn into the geopolitical rivalry or debate with US and Australia, who perceive China and North Korea as the threat, is not necessarily the same as our threat. So I reiterate once again, whilst the Prime Minister Marape has the prerogative to go ahead and sign treaties and communiques, is only at the cabinet level. But at the parliamentary level, at the legislative level, it will require a change in constitution. And Section 202 of the Constitution will be implicated if Papua New Guinea allow our soldiers to join the Defence Force in Australia. It's everything. Let me reiterate once again that if both countries decide, if Australia and Papua New Guinea decide to go ahead and sign the treaty and enable our soldiers to join the Australian Defence Force, then it's a serious breach of sovereignty, serious breach of the Constitution. And let me add that there's a lot of interested party already now. If this treaty goes ahead and be signed, then many very learned constitutional lawyers are prepared to take the government to court to prove that such a relationship allowing Papua New Guinean soldiers to join the Australian Army is highly illegal and highly unconstitutional and unlawful, because we are a sovereign state. We are no longer a colony of Australia. In 1975, we drafted our own constitution and we became a sovereign state. And if Australia wants to invest in the PNG, then it should invest in its capabilities, not taking our soldiers into the armed forces. That's illegal. That's the point. That's the point that I was making. Well, we have a very close relationship with China. We have a trade. It's a trading partner. We continue to embark on our defense cooperation with China, and we continue every year. There's an increased number of Papua New Guinean officers and public servants going to China. So more and more interaction is taking place. So it doesn't change our position. It doesn't change our position even after 50 years. We're a sovereign state, and therefore our sovereignty is respected. Our constitution is respected. And as far as the general view of Papua New Guinea is concerned, is China is not the enemy. China is a friend of Papua New Guinea. Simple as that. And just because China is investing in the Pacific, it doesn't necessarily mean that China is the enemy. That's the way other countries see. So this is geopolitics at its best. So just because US and Australia sees China as a possible threat in the Pacific, it doesn't necessarily mean that Papua New Guinea should also be brought into their arguments or their analysis. We're a neutral country. We're non-aligned to any country when it comes to perceived threat or imminent threat. Because as far as we're concerned, China is not our military threat or any other threat for the same matter.